What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel, and today we are back with Premier League Gameweek 32 predictions. And honestly, this weekend might be one of the most important of the entire season. We're literally at the end now, with title race pressure, Champions League places on the line, mid-table teams chasing Europe, and a serious relegation scrap involving multiple clubs. As always, I'm going to start by going through all my predictions first, with breakdowns, recent form, home and away trends, tactical matchups, key players, and where each team actually sits on the table, etc, etc. And after that, we'll compare everything with your community predictions and see where we agree and where it gets controversial. And if you enjoy these Premier League videos like this, make sure to like, subscribe, and let's just get straight into it. I am begging for a Wolves win here. I don't think it's going to happen, but I'm begging for a Wolves win. I am going for West Ham to win this 2-1, and the context here is absolutely massive because this is a relegation six-pointer involving my football club. West Ham come into this game sitting 18th, right in the bottom three, and they know this is one of those fixtures they have to win. At home, though, they've actually been more resilient, losing just once in the last 6 league games at the London Stadium. Wolves, meanwhile, are bottom of the league and realistically heading down. They've shown some fight recently with surprising results against bigger teams like Aston Villa and Liverpool, mainly like denting their top 4 hopes. So please, can they dent West Ham's survival hopes as well? But away from home, they've been dreadful all season, as they haven't won a game. Tactically, this feels like a West Ham kind of match. Physical, direct, lots of long balls, crosses and set pieces, and also West Ham losing to Leeds on penalties in the FA Cup, which means all their focus now is going to be on staying in the Premier League. So Wolves tend to sit back in a low block and look to counter, but that invites pressure, and West Ham thrive when they can build momentum at home. Also worth mentioning, Jarrod Bowen has an excellent record against Wolves at the London Stadium, and if West Ham score first, I see them backing that up with a second. I do think Wolves nick a goal on the counter, but West Ham's urgency wins out. I'm going for a controlled 2-0 Arsenal win, and this is all about game management. Arsenal are top of the league, deep in the title running, and at this stage it doesn't really matter how pretty the performance is. Results are everything. At the Emirates, Arsenal are comfortably the best home side in the league, averaging well over 2 points per game. Bournemouth are actually on a long unbeaten run, but it's misleading. They've drawn game after game after game. I hope they draw this game as well. They're safe, they're organised, but they don't really chase matches aggressively. They could even push for Europe. Well, anyone could, couldn't they? Apart from the teams in the relegation battle. But this feels like one where Arsenal patiently probe, score one, likely from sustained pressure, and once they're ahead, they control the tempo, kill the game, and maybe add a second late on. Clean sheet, professional job, move on. This one is really interesting because both teams are a lot level on points and still flirting with an outside European push. If 7th is Europa League because City are likely to win the FA Cup, then this is basically the knockout for Europa League football. I don't think any of them could get to the Champions League, but we'll see. But anyway, Brentford at home are a very specific test. They press aggressively, force duels, get bodies in the box, and rely heavily on structured attacking patterns rather than individual flair, which is good. Everton, on the other hand, have been surprisingly strong away from home this season. They're compact, hard to break down, and dangerous from dead ball situations. Tactically, this could be decided by moments rather than flow. Brentford tend to score late goals at home. Everton often stay in games longer than expected. So I think Everton score, likely from a set piece, but Brentford's home intensity, especially in the final 20 minutes, edges this for me. Another team that's in the push for Europe, Brighton, who I am backing to win 2-1 away, and this is one of more confident away picks. Burnley are second bottom and honestly look like a side that's running out of ideas. At Turf Moor, they'll fight, press high, throw bodies forwards, but that actually plays into Brighton's hands at the minute. Brighton are at their best when teams press them. They're on brilliant form at the minute. They're comfortable playing through pressure, rotating midfield positions and exploiting space behind an aggressive defensive line. Burnley may score early or make it uncomfortable, but over 90 minutes, Brighton's technical quality and tactical discipline should tell. I see this being tight early, then Brighton slowly taking control. Alright, I have gone 2-1 Liverpool, but this is really far from straightforward. Liverpool come into this game off a tough run of results, but Anfield remains a huge factor. They've lost just once in the last 13 home games in all competitions, even during poor spells. Yes, their away form has been atrocious recently, but this is Anfield. Anyway, Fulham are dangerous though, in the European mix as well. They're well organised, confident on the counter, and actually have a really good recent record against Liverpool. They also tend to score late goals, which is something Liverpool have struggled with defensively. I see this as a game where Liverpool dominate possession, Fulham stay in it, and it's tense right until the end, but Liverpool's pressure eventually forces a winner. A mid-table clash for Crystal Palace versus Newcastle. I am backing Newcastle to win 2-1, even though Selhurst Park is never easy. Palace at home are compact, aggressive and thrive off chaos. They'll likely sit deep and look to counter through pace out wide. And they did have a brilliant result in the Conference League, 3-0 against Fiorentina. Newcastle are also on horrific form, but they are one of the most physically dominant teams in the league. They can sustain pressure, win second balls and get midfield runners into dangerous areas, especially late in matches, even though they do have like Bruno Guimaraes out, for example, which is a massive miss for them if he is still out. If Newcastle avoid conceding early, I think they grow into the game, wear Palace down and nick it, but they have to avoid that. This one screams draw. Two teams that are in the Europa League this season and two teams that played in the Europa League on Thursday. Villa won 3-1, Forest drew 1-1, which is massive for them. But Forest are fighting survival as well, and at home they're usually stubborn, disciplined and cautious. And they did dismantle my team 3-0, yes, I know. Villa, meanwhile, are pushing for the Champions League, but have been inconsistent away from home, particularly against teams sitting deep. But even if Villa do not get Champions League, they're most likely to win the Europa League, aren't they? But they still got to concentrate on the league because they never know if they will win it or not. Tactically, this could get very slow. Forest won't want to open the game. Villa will dominate the ball but struggle to break them down. Both teams score, neither fully commit late on, and it ends level. Alright, my team, Tottenham Hotspur. Brace yourselves. I've gone 1-1, and here's why I'm not backing us to lose for once. Yes, we are right in the relegation battle, away from home, under pressure, new manager, Roberto De Zerbi, injury hit squad, Mohamed Kudus out for the World Cup potentially. This is a nightmare fixture. Sunderland, meanwhile, are confident in mid-table and play with aggression and freedom at the Stadium of Light. Yes, in a few more wins, they could be in the mix for Europe as well. Spurs will have more of the ball though, but Sunderland's intensity in midfield, plus their energy off the ball, could disrupt our rhythm. I actually think Spurs go ahead at some point, but game management has been a huge issue this season. Sunderland equalising late would surprise nobody. I desperately hope I'm wrong, but I do not think we're going to win the game. And this is the blockbuster of the weekend, and I've gone City 2-1. Chelsea are struggling with injuries, inconsistency and confidence. We all saw what happened to Enzo Fernandez for speaking about going to Real Madrid. He has apologised and so has his agent, but he is still suspended for this game. And Chelsea, yes, they're still dangerous on the counter, especially at Stamford Bridge, but City are peaking at exactly the right time. They battered Liverpool 4-0. Chelsea got battered 3-0 by Everton before the international break. Please, City, I'm begging you, you have to win this game to stay in the title race with Arsenal. Tactically, City will dominate the ball, slow the game down, and wait for openings. Chelsea's defensive absences make that dangerous because City punish positional mistakes better than anyone. Chelsea score, make it tense, but City's composure wins. And to finish things off, I am backing Man United to win 2-0 against Leeds. I'm hoping so anyway. This will be frantic early doors. Leeds always press aggressively, but away from home they struggle to sustain that intensity. Yes, Leeds are not playing that bad right now, but they're just not getting results in the league at the minute. Yes, they did beat West Ham on penalties as well, so they also got that to focus on as well. United at Old Trafford are usually good at weathering the storm, controlling possession and picking moments to strike, and yes, they're also hoping to secure that Champions League finish as well. So once United score first, I think the game opens up and Leeds fade, hopefully anyway. And here are the community predictions. Let's see what you put. West Ham 44%, draw 33%, Wolves 22%, really balanced. Arsenal 100%, Brentford 50%, draw 25%, Everton 25%, Burnley 60%, Brighton 33%, wow. Liverpool 100%, Palace 67%, draw 33%, and none for Newcastle. Forest 67%, Villa 33%, bloody hope not. Sunderland 25%, Tottenham 75%. Come on, I agree with you. Well, I don't, but I love the passion. Draw 33%, Man City 60%. I agree with you as well, and I love the passion. United 64%, Leeds 27%, and draw 9%. Yes, I'm with you as well, and I love the passion. So that's it. Premier League Game Week 32. All my predictions followed by your community predictions. Let me know in the comments which results you agree with, which ones you think are awful. As Spurs fans, are we confident or just hopeful? If you enjoy these videos, please make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you on Sunday for my reaction to Sunderland versus Spurs will either be in the bottom three or not in the bottom three. I'll see you there. Let's find out.